So let's talk about what you should know before selling your book of business. I think the most important thing is start with why. What are you hoping to accomplish in a transaction? Why do you want to sell this thing that you've spent your entire life building? If it's to solve for a specific need, start there. If it's monetization or taking chips off the table, that's an entirely different conversation. But make sure you have a really clear understanding of what you're looking for in a buyer before you engage anybody. You could always start with the listing services. So there are wonderful companies like FP Transitions, FA Match, you name it, that will list out practices that are for sale and also buyers in the market. So a great way to connect with a potential buyer is by listing yourself on one of those sites and inviting inquiries. Have somebody reach out to you. Think of it more as a match.com for financial advisors. There are also plenty of institutional buyers out there, Carson being one of those. So we are always looking at being that institutional succession plan for an advisor that's looking to sell their practice. We're also very interested in helping finance second generation advisors buying into that ownership structure so that we can prepare it to be a 50, 60, 70-year firm. In reality, succession planning is a long process. So I would encourage any advisor that's looking to sell, think 7 to 10 years out if you can. Your practice, if you're showing any sort of growth, is exponentially more valuable now than it will be 7 to 10 years later when you're slowing down and looking to get out of the business and inside of 3 years. So the more you can thoughtfully consider selling the practice now and engage with an institutional buyer, the more value you're going to derive from that from the get-go. A transaction also doesn't happen overnight. So I would encourage any seller to date for a while before you sell. I had one advisor tell me, you can't unfire that bullet. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So make sure that you're sitting knee to knee with any buyer. Make sure you understand their culture. Make sure you understand how they take care of their clients. Make sure you have a really good understanding of what this is going to mean for your staff and your clients when you exit the business, and feel comfortable with the way that they do business and their cultural values. I think that if you find the right fit, just the due diligence and valuation, transition planning, all of that can take up to a year. So make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time and you have a clear idea of what you want to accomplish at the end, and then work backwards from that. Another question we get is, should I give my second generation advisor a discount on my practice when I go to sell? I think here at Carson, we would usually say no. You spent your entire life building this business. You should derive every bit of value out of that you can. However, we can help you structure a deal to make it affordable for that second generation if it's important that they have an ownership stake in the business going forward.